Hello everyone, in this video we are going to discuss a question on type 1 eccentric welded connection. Okay, go through this question. This is one more question on this welded connections. So go through this. A bracket plate is welded to the flange of a column. So this is what the flange of a column, right? So this is the flange. Clear, this is the flange of a column I section. It may see here I section is perpendicular to the plane of board. Okay, I section is a perpendicular to the plane of board. It means this is one flange and there exists web, and after that one more flange. So we can here we can observe only one flange. There exists web and flange on back of this flange. Okay, there exists one more flange and web on back of the flange. What we can see on this diagram. Is that clear, everyone? As shown on the figure. Now it means this is the bracket. See, this is the bracket. This is the bracket. This is the bracket. Now this bracket is connected to the flange of an I section. Okay, flange of an I section column. Flange of an I section column. Now what is asking? Calculate the size. Calculate the size of the weld required to support a factor load of 100 kilonewton. So this is 100 kilonewton. To transmit or to transfer this 100 kilonewton to the flange of an I section is asking us to find size of this weld. And this weld comes under which category? Basically, this is the eccentric welded connection, right? This is the eccentric welded connection. We know there exist two types of eccentric welded connections. That is type 1 and type 2. Now this comes under which category? Type 1. Okay, this comes under type 1. So here I will write type 1. So type 1 means in plane eccentricity. In plane eccentricity. Is that clear? In plane eccentricity. It means both the loading plane and weld plane are in same. Okay, same. Okay, both the loading plane and weld plane are one and the same. Is that clear? Now, in this type of eccentric welded connection, okay, in this type of eccentric welded connection, the weld group is subjected to mainly two effects. One is direct shear Q1. Okay, direct shear Q1, that is load upon area. And another is twisting shear Q2. Okay, another is twisting shear Q2. So that is a torsion upon polar moment of inertia into maximum radial distance. So these are the effects in type 1 eccentric welded connection. And that too, which type of weld we are going to use here? So for type 1 weld, always we use fillet weld. Okay, for type 1, always we use fillet weld. But for type 2, we can use either butt weld or fillet weld. And one more point I want to make clear, that is in welded connections, in 80 cases we use fillet weld, and only in 10 to 15 cases we use butt weld, and rest of the cases we use either plug or slot. Is that clear? It means fillet weld is most widely used. Why? Because it is very easy to make and less in cost. Okay, it is very easy to make at the even both at field and site, but field and workshop. But if you take butt weld can be done only in workshop. Okay, making the butt weld in field is not at all possible. Butt weld can be made. Okay, butt weld can be made only in the workshop. Okay, only in the workshop. In field it is not possible. But coming to the fillet weld, you can say in welded connections or in types of weld. Okay, in types of weld, coming to the all types of weld, fillet weld is the most versatile. It means it can be made both in field and in workshop. Okay, and in workshop. Is that clear? And even it is very less in cost and it is very easy to fabricate. Okay, by using fillet weld we can easily fabricate the members. And for type 1 eccentric welded connection, always we use fillet weld. For type 2 we use butt weld or fillet weld. Is that clear, everyone? No, because of this in plane eccentric load, the weld group is subjected to mainly two types. See, here we are solving the question. That is the reason. Briefly, I am revising the concepts what we have discussed in theoretical part. That's it. So, because of this in plane eccentric load, the weld group is subjected to two effects. That is direct shear and twisting shear. Okay, direct shear and twisting shear. So, because of these two effects, okay, there exists a resultant shear, that is QR, which is equal to Q1 plus Q1 square plus Q2 square plus 2 Q1 Q2 cos theta under root. Is it clear? Now this particular resultant stress should be less than or equal to design stress in fillet weld, that is Fu upon root 3 into gamma mw. Is that clear? Now coming to the gamma mw, as we know, but still I am mentioning here 1.25 for sharp welding and 1.5 for field. Is that clear? This is the required concept to solve this question. So the concept what we have discussed in theoretical part, just I mentioned here. So these are the required concept to solve this question. Is that okay? So if this is clear, okay, if you are clear with this, then we'll proceed to solving this question. Okay, we'll proceed in solving this question. This is the diagram. Diagram is very much required. Now if you observe here, we don't know eccentricity of the loading. Basically eccentricity is from the CG of the weld group. Okay, if you know the CG of this weld group, then only we can know the eccentricity. Hence eccentricity is unknown here. Eccentricity. So let us consider the axis here where CG lies. Okay, here where CG of this weld group lies. Now this is the eccentricity for the load. Unknown. Okay, this is unknown. So first we have to start our calculation by finding eccentricity, or from finding out the eccentricity we have to start it. Clear everyone? So here I'll show the weld cross section, fillet weld cross section. If we observe here, this fillet weld cross section looks like a C channel, C shape, right? So this is the cross section of the fillet weld. This is the throat thickness TT, and here also throat thickness TT. And this is L1, length L1. How much mentioned in the question? 150 mm. And this is L2. How much it is mentioned in the question? 260. And this is L3. How much? 150. It means L1 is equal to L3 here in this case. Here again I'm going to show the axis of this fillet weld. So this is one axis. Let us consider it as XX. Okay, this is one axis. Let us consider it as XX. And this is another axis. Let us consider it as YY. Clear? Here where CG lies. Okay, here where CG lies. Now here one assumption we are going to make here, as the throat thickness is very much less. Okay, here TT is very much less in comparison with the length of the weld. Therefore, we are going to take one assumption. What is that assumption? So fillet weld group cross section. Okay, fillet weld group cross section. Okay, fillet weld group cross section is considered as line areas. That is power terms of this thickness, that is TT square, TT cube, TT power 4, so on, are neglected. Or simply we consider the power terms of the thickness. Okay, power terms of the thickness as a 0. We neglect it, are neglected. That is the meaning of line area. Okay, that is the meaning of line area. So fillet weld group, this is a very important assumption, well required here, or else calculations are not simple. Okay, calculations will be very lengthy or complicated. So because of that we are going to assume. So why this assumption is made, or how this assumption is made? Because TT is much less in comparison with the length of the weld, we can safely make this assumption. Is that clear everyone? So fillet weld group cross section. Okay, total this is the fillet weld group, right? Which is made on the side. So here the fillet weld made here. Okay, the fillet weld present here is considered as side fillet weld, and this is considered as end fillet weld. So let me write here. So this is the side fillet weld, and this is end fillet. Okay, this is end fillet. Clear everyone? So these two are the side fillets and this is the end fillet. Now fillet weld cross sections are considered as line areas. It means power terms of the thickness are ignored. Okay. Now let us proceed. First, find the area of the fillet weld. So here I'll write area A. So area is nothing but area of this one and this one and this one. So adding all this, we'll get the area. That is L1 plus L2 plus L3 into TT. So which comes out to be, so 150 plus 150. Okay, let me write here. 150 plus 150 plus 260 into TT. That is the area. So how much it is? 560 TT. This is the area of that fillet weld. Okay, this is the area of this fillet weld. It means you may ask a doubt that L1 into TT is this one, right? L1 into TT is this one, and L2 into TT is nothing but this one, right? And L3 into TT is this one. It means there exists a overlap. Okay, there exists a overlap. So that overlap we ignore. That is the meaning of line area. Okay, that is the meaning of the assumption of line area. Is that clear? So as we are considering weld group as a line areas, hence that overlap can be ignored, or power terms of the throat thickness can be ignored. Hence, area is 560 TT square. Is that clear? That is the area of the fillet weld. As I said, the first step in solving this question is finding out the eccentricity. Without knowing eccentricity of that given load, we can't proceed further. That is the reason first here is eccentricity. E. Finding out the E. For that we need to find the CG of this weld group. Okay, for that we need to find the CG of this weld group. It means, here I will show. Let us consider CG from this extreme face. So CG is X bar. If you know the X bar, we can subtract that X bar from 150, right? Then we'll get this distance. So this distance plus 100 mm will get eccentricity. Yes or no? If you see here, in the diagram we have shown very clearly. If you know the X bar here in this diagram, if you know the X bar here, we can calculate this length. Upon calculating this length, it means this length is nothing but L1 minus X bar. Yes or no? So L1 minus X bar gives us this length. So this length plus 100 mm gives us eccentricity. Clear? So to calculate eccentricity, first we need to calculate the CG of the weld group. Okay, CG of the weld group. So CG of the weld group we can find by making use of Varigness theorem, which we have studied in our +2 and even in engineering mechanics. Right? Very easy. Directly I'll write that formula. So CG of the weld group. CG of the weld group. So total area, how much the area? 560 TT into X bar is equal to, so these two areas, okay, these two areas, here X1, so 2 into 150 into TT into 75. So area of this line is 150 into TT, right? 150 into TT into 75. It means CG of this line area from this extreme face, right? As here in this case we are calculating CG from this extreme fiber. That is the reason we are representing it as X bar plus 260 into TT, right? So this is the area of this line. Okay, it means a vertical rectangle. Okay, vertical rectangle 260 into TT, and the CG of this vertical rectangle from this face. Okay, from this face is TT by 2. If you observe here, we are going to get TT square, which we ignore. That is our assumption. That is what I said. If we don't take this assumption, then we can't proceed further in solution. So we can take it as 0. Okay, we can take it as 0. Clear? Now here we are left with, what are the terms here we are left with? Here I will write, better I will write with blue. So we can cancel TT here. We can cancel TT as this term is total 0. So we can cancel TT. Now what are the terms we are left with? X bar is equal to, so 2 into 150 into 75 divided by 560. So upon simplifying, we are going to get it as 40.18 mm. This is the CG. Okay, what is X bar here? Okay, this is X bar. Now what is this distance? As x bar is how much? 40.18. Okay, x bar is how much? 40.18. Now from 150 if we subtract 40.18, we are going to get it as how much? 109.82 mm. This is the distance. As x bar is how much? 40.18. So from 150 if you subtract 40.18, then we'll get 109.82. Now what is eccentricity here? Here I will write what is eccentricity. Eccentricity is equal to 109.82. See in this diagram. So this is total. So L1 minus X1 bar is how much? So L1 minus X1 bar is 109.82. So eccentricity is that 109.82 plus 100. How much it is? 209.82 mm. This is the eccentricity. Okay, this is the eccentricity. Clear? After finding the eccentricity, some other parameters also we need to calculate. What are those parameters? Maximum radial distance of that weld group from CG. As already discussed in the theoretical part, this is the point where we can find maximum radial distance, right? So this is RA. Okay, this is RA. Okay, this is RA. How to calculate that RA? By using a simple Pythagoras theorem. So this length is known to us, right? This length is known to us. How much? 109.82. And this length is also known to us. This is half of L2. That is half of 260. So under root 130 square plus 109 point how much? 82 whole square comes out to be, the radial distance comes out to be 170.18 mm. This is the maximum radial distance of that weld group from its CG. Okay, from its CG. And one more parameter we need to calculate here itself, that is direct angle between Q1 and Q2. So direct shear always acts in downward direction, right? So this is Q1. Okay, this is Q1. And Q2 always acts in perpendicular direction to the radial distance. So this is the radial distance. To this perpendicularly Q2 will act, right? So this is theta. We need to calculate this theta also. From simple geometry, if this is theta, then this is also theta. From simple geometry, we can say that. So if this is theta, then this is also theta. So from this triangle, so consider this triangle. This triangle. Okay, consider this triangle. So in this triangle, this is opposite side and this is adjacent side. So now tan theta, what is the formula for tan theta? Tan theta is equal to opposite side by adjacent side. Tan theta is equal to opposite. What is the opposite side? Half of the length, 130. And what is the adjacent side? 109.82. So upon simplifying, we are going to get theta as 49 degree, 49.81 degree. So these are the required things. So upon calculating eccentricity, we can calculate RA and theta also. Is that clear? So these are the other two required parameters after eccentricity in solving this question, theta and RA. Is that clear, everyone? Now we are left with finding out Q1 and Q2. If we find Q1 and Q2, then we can find the resultant, and that resultant should be less than or equal to design shear stress in fillet weld. That is Fu upon root 3 into gamma mW. Okay. Now Q1, coming to the Q1. So second step here, calculating Q1 and Q2. So Q1 comma Q2. So calculating these two. That is the step 2. Step 1 is the finding out eccentricity. Upon finding out eccentricity, we can find RA and theta. So which we have already done. Okay, which we have already done. Now we are left with finding out the Q1 and Q2. So how to get Q1? Q1 is nothing but that load upon area of the weld. So what is that load? 100 into 10 cube. That means 100 kilonewton upon area. Area is how much? 560 TT. Yes or no? So finally, we are going to get that Q1 as 178.57 TT Newton per mm square. Is that clear? That is what Q1. Now coming to the Q2. Q2 formula is T upon IP into RA. So here where more calculation is required. It means for finding out IP. Okay, for finding out IP. So for that I'll rub this total portion, this diagram. We know that from perpendicular axis theorem, okay, from perpendicular axis theorem, we know that IP is equal to Ix plus Iy, right? So to know that polar moment of inertia, we need to calculate Ix plus Iy, right? Now Ix. How to calculate Ix? Ix. It means moment of inertia of this cross section along this axis. Okay, along this axis. Now consider this as a vertical rectangle and this as a horizontal rectangles. Now for vertical rectangle, BDQ, we know that we know that moment of inertia formula is BDQ by 12. So now for this vertical rectangle, B is nothing but thickness. Clear? So TT into 260 whole cube by 12. Okay, that is a moment of inertia of this vertical rectangle. Now coming to the horizontal rectangle. Two horizontal rectangles are there. So 2 into. So first let us take moment of inertia of this horizontal rectangle about its own CG. So this is its CG. Yes or no? This is its CG. So from that CG, what is the moment of inertia? 150 into TT whole cube by 12, right? Here by making use of parallel axis theorem, we can find the total moment of inertia of this horizontal area along its CG, along the total CG of the weld group, along the CG of the weld group. As we are considering this weld as a line, hence this distance can be taken as 130 mm. Okay, this distance can be taken as 130 mm. So now finally how much we are going to get? 150 into TT into 130 square. Clear? This is the moment of inertia of this fillet weld cross section. Okay, fillet weld cross section along x-axis axis. Upon simplifying, we are going to get it as 6.535 TT into 10 to the power 6 mm power 4. That is a moment of inertia along x-axis. Now coming to the y-y. Now we need to find the moment of inertia along this axis, y-y. Okay, along this axis, y-y. What is its formula? For vertical rectangle. Okay, for vertical rectangle. So for both the rectangles here, we need to use parallel axis theorem. In previous case, we have used parallel axis theorem only for horizontal rectangles. But for vertical rectangle, the CG, okay, CG that XX is passing through the CG of that vertical rectangle. Hence, no need of any theorems. Whenever axis about which moment of inertia is to be calculated is not passing through the CG of the cross section, then we make use of parallel axis theorem. Okay, so coming to the x-axis axis, for vertical rectangle, this x-axis axis is passing through the CG, it's CG. But for horizontal rectangle, not. That is the reason we have used parallel axis theorem. But for vertical axis, okay, this vertical axis is not passing through the CG of either of the cross sections. Hence, we have to use parallel axis theorem. Okay. So for vertical rectangle, how much the moment of inertia? 260 into TT cube. It means, see, here we ignore this TT cube term. Upon ignoring only, we are going to get, upon ignoring and simplifying, we will get this one value. Okay. 260 into TT cube by 12 plus 260 into TT. Okay, 260 into TT. 260 into TT into 40.18 square. So this is the CG. Okay, sorry, this is the moment of inertia of vertical rectangle along YY plus this is for vertical rectangle. Now let us see for horizontal rectangle. Two rectangles are there. So 2 into 150 cube into TT by 12 plus area 150 into TT. Now CG, here I will draw the diagram so that you'll understand it. So here where the CG lies, and this is the YY axis, okay? And this is the XX axis for the given cross section. Now CG of the horizontal area lies somewhere here. Okay, this is the axis passing through the CG of the horizontal area. Now this is how much? 75, yes or no? And this is how much? 40.18. Clear? Now this is the axis passing through the CG of the total weld group. And this is the axis passing through the CG of the horizontal area. Now the difference, this is the difference. How much this difference? From 75, if you subtract 40.18, then we will get it as 34.82. Okay, 34.82. So here we need to multiply with 34.82 whole square. Is it clear? Upon simplifying, IYY will get it as 1.346 TT into 10 to the power 6 mm power 4, right? Upon adding these two, we'll get IP. So here I'll write. You know, IP is nothing but IXX plus IYY. Now how much? Upon adding, we'll get it IP. So this is IX and this is IY. So now IP, we are going to get it as 7.86 TT into 10 to the power 6 mm power 4. This is IP. Okay, this is IP. Now in this formula, we have calculated IP and RA, of course, we have calculated. Now T, torsion or twisting moment T. So T is nothing but load. Load is how much? 100 kilonewton. 100 into 10 cube into eccentricity. How much the eccentricity? 209.82. Clear? So this is the torsion. If you see the units, Newton mm. This is the unit of torsion. So for calculating Q2, everything is known to us. Torsion is known to us. IP, polar moment of inertia, is known to us, and even RA is also known to us. Now substitute all those here. Okay, substitute all those here. That is 100 into 10 cube into 209.82 into RA, how much? RA is 170.18 divided by IP is 7.88. Okay, not 8688. 7.88 TT into 10 to the power 6. So upon simplifying, we are going to get Q2 as 453.14 by TT, Newton per mm square. Right? These are the Q1 and Q2. Okay, these are the Q1 and Q2. So first you better take it down. Okay, first you better take it down, and later we'll see the further. Okay, later we'll see the remaining part of this question. Okay, later we'll see the remaining part of this question. First you copy it. Now QR, we know that QR formula, directly I'm writing Q1. Q1 is how much? 178.57. Okay, 178.57 by TT whole square plus Q2. Q2 is how much? 453.14 by TT whole square plus 2 into, okay, 2 into, wait. 178 point under root. This total comes under the root. 178.57 by TT whole square plus 453.14 by TT whole square plus 2 into 178.57 into 453.14 by TT into cos. How much is the theta? 49.81. This is QR. Okay, this is QR. Now we know that this QR should be less than or equal to FU by root 3 into gamma MW. If nothing is mentioned about the location of the welding for fillet weld, okay, if nothing is mentioned about location of welding for fillet weld, take it as a shop weld. So for shop weld, the gamma MW is 1.25. So upon substituting the value, all the values, that is FU is 410 by root 3 into 1.25, we will get it as 189.37 Newton per mm square. Clear? Newton per mm square. Now this resultant should be less than or equal to 189.37. Now this QR should be less than or equal to 189.37. Okay. Upon substituting this total expression here, then we'll get value of TT. So finally we'll get value of TT greater than, okay, value of TT is greater than or equal to 3.08. So that is a calculation you have to do. Without calci, we can't solve this question. So calci is must. Okay, calci is well required. So directly I have written here the formula, or sorry, value of the TT. So TT is nothing but how much? It should be greater than or equal to 3.08 mm. That is the TT. We know that TT is equal to KS. All the time, if nothing is mentioned, then we'll take that K as 0.7, which is what already discussed in our theoretical part. So from this, size comes out to be greater than or equal to, okay, greater than or equal to 4.41 mm. Okay, this is the answer. Okay, this is the final answer. So the size of the fillet weld should be greater than or equal to 4.41. Hence provide 5 mm size fillet weld. Right? This is the answer. So finally, what is the answer? 5 mm. So once you see this procedure, how lengthy? Because of this reason only, I said in our theoretical part that this is not so important. Still, I stick to that stand. Okay, still I stick to that stand that this model is not so important in comparison with other models of bolted connections, right? But why I have solved the question based on this type of eccentric welded connection is, if you see in recent years, type 2 eccentric welded connection has gained more popularity, or every year we can find one question that is for 1 mark or 2 mark. Okay, 1 mark or 2 mark. Hence, in near future we can find a question from this type also. Okay, that is how the exam pattern will be. Okay, that is how we have to estimate, or that is how we have to predict. So because of that reason only, I have solved this question, or I have explained this question, or else this is not so easy, means very lengthy. Even though the procedure or even though the concept may be easy to remember, but it requires more and more steps. See here, first we need to find, once again I'll repeat, first we need to find the eccentricity. Okay, after the eccentricity is calculated by finding the CG of that weld group. Okay, weld group. So after finding the eccentricity, we need to find the maximum radial distance of that weld group from its CG. And after that, we need to find the theta, that is angle between the two stresses, direct shear stress and twisting shear stress. So the second step is finding out the Q1 and Q2. This is how to find Q1 and Q2. For finding out Q2, we need to find moment of inertia about XX and YY. And upon adding, we'll get IP, right? So after getting Q1 and Q2, we need to find resultant. After getting resultant, that resultant should be less than or equal to design stress, which is what already discussed in our conceptual part or theoretical part. Is that clear? This is what the question. Okay, this is how to solve this type 1 eccentric welded connection. So take it out.